A day of high anxiety for parents following a local school shooting. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. A shooting incident at Suitland High School sends a teenager to the hospital. Taylor Thomas is at the scene with the story.
Tension and emotions were high as parents rushed here to Suitland High School after learning of a shooting. Local leaders, 3 hours after the initial announcement was made, held a press conference to update parents and the community.
Just before 10 a.m. today here at Suitland High School, 5200 block of Silver Hill, there was a transition period. And during the transition period, a group of students had gathered. That group, a verbal altercation, exchange happened between the students, which then turned physical. During that physical altercation, someone produced a weapon and fired that weapon, striking a 14-year-old student. At this point in time, our school resource officers who are on site responded, administered first aid, helping that student, and immediately began an investigation. That investigation and the cooperation of students who were witnesses gave enough information for us to arrest a 14-year-old male for his involvement in this altercation.
Parents who had been patiently waiting out in the cold for more than 3 hours to hear something from school officials or the police were understandably, visibly upset and emotional. School officials did eventually come out and tell parents who wished to pick up their children that they could sign them out. The parents were then escorted into the school's auditorium where they were reunited with their child and allowed to take them home. There is some question to whether or not all of the students or people involved were actually students here at Suitland High School. Police Chief Aziz says it is an ongoing investigation. From Suitland, I'm Taylor Thomas for CTV News.
Well, for the second day in a row, gunfire erupts at a Metro subway station. Yesterday's incident was deadly. Today's police say there were numerous victims, including innocent bystanders. Byron Scott has our story.
The incident happened just after 9 o'clock this morning at the Benning Road station. According to investigators, 4 juveniles got into a fight on the station platform when a gun was pulled and shots were fired.
People feel unsafe in their city.
Curtis Minor summed it up. 2 days, 2 shootings at 2 Metro subway stations, this time at Benning Road. The suspects, all juveniles.
What we have is that 3 suspects were engaged in a fight with one victim of the one that's in critical condition. They were involved in a fight on the platform. Out of the 3 suspects, one or unknown at this time, produced a weapon and started firing multiple times.
Again, 3 juvenile suspects, at least 1 gun. 1 juvenile victim, the intended target, police say, was shot in the thigh and is in critical condition.
The other 2 is a 34 adult female suffering from a gunshot wound to the ankle and a 15-year-old juvenile male suffering from a gunshot wound to the foot. They both are non-life threatening and they do not appear to be intended targets.
The 3 young suspects got away.
The challenge that we have is that we can never become numb to violence, regardless of the age. But we are seeing more of juveniles, and it's disheartening to know that juveniles are the numbers that are driving gun violence as of recently.
Today's shooting comes a day after an on-duty FBI agent shot and killed a man on the station platform at Metro Center. As for Benning Road, it's not known what sparked the incident. Olivia Lofton had this to say.
That's sad. That's so sad that every time somebody has an argument or disagreement, a gun got to be pulled out. I don't know why things can't be settled in a normal manner with nobody getting shot or nobody getting killed or hurt or going to the hospital.
At the Benning Road Metro Station, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Well, in other news tonight, Brittany Griner is coming home. Our sports anchor, Laurencia Moten, is joining us with all the details.
That's right, Patty. Brittany Griner, the WNBA star who was held for months in Russian jail on drug charges, is released in a prisoner swap for arms dealer Victor Boot. It all happened earlier this morning in the United Arab Emirates. The basketball star was taken into custody at a Moscow airport in February for having vape cartridges containing cannabis oil, an illegal substance in Russia. Griner pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 9 years in prison.
She's safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home. After months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held under intolerable circumstances, Brittany will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along.
Today my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole. And so BG's not here to say this, but I will gladly speak on her behalf and say that BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul.
Griner will be flown to a medical facility in San Antonio where she will be joined by her wife, Sherelle.
All right, and you have much more news on this when you come back a little bit later in the newscast. Thank you, Laurencia. Well, you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Coming up, an inaugural night in Prince George's. We're at National Harbor, where Angela Alsobrooks celebrates the beginning of her second term as county executive. Stay with us.
What if you could feel in control of your retirement in just a few clicks? At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. Well, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks celebrates her recent election victory during a black tie inaugural gala last night at the Gaylord Center in National Harbor. This will be her second term as the county's first woman ever elected to the post.
We really had a 4-year period that was so challenging in so many ways. But one of the things that happened is that we were able to accelerate much of the progress we needed. So I look forward to building on the progress of these first 4 years, including behavioral health, really delivering more health care to our residents, investing in education, and growing the economy. You know, we're still looking forward to better restaurants and better grocers and entertainment. So much to look forward to, but we're going to do it together, and we're going to really have, I think, a lot of success.
And Governor-elect Wes Moore also spoke at last night's inaugural gala. Well, reactions poured in last night from local lawmakers regarding changes taking place on the new Prince George's Council. As we've reported this past week, a new, more progressive majority has shown a shift in priorities. While some are embracing the changes, others say the council should take a more moderate approach.
You had some council members who were very pro-development and were not as concerned about smart growth issues. You know, they're going to have to decide, do they want to push those issues as a minority position to give people an alternative, or do they want to try to figure out how to work with us to find more common ground?
All of us have a job to make sure that we continue to move Prince George's County forward.
They have an ambitious agenda. I would just ask them to take their time in order to get to know the place first.
So I would hope that with this progressive league that they actually filter on what is most important for the county as opposed to for themselves.
I think this council is very different, but I believe in transparency of government, and I think that's what they're moving forward with, and I'm on board with that.
We've seen tremendous gains around transit-oriented development, around smart growth, growing our pool of affordable housing in our communities. So I hope that momentum continues with this next council.
And the County Council will hold a retreat next Thursday, December 15th. Well, opening day for the Maryland General Assembly is just over a month away, and lawmakers are already gearing up for a host of issues sure to come before the House and Senate chambers. Now, Senate President Bill Ferguson and Senator Ron Watson spoke with CTV News last night about their top priorities.
We have some big issues to tackle around mental health, around transportation, really thinking critically about our workforce, making sure that Maryland's competitive. So it's going to be a really fun year, and with brand new people, and I think we're going to make the people of Maryland proud.
I'm putting a bill in place that ultimately tries to phase out anybody paying state tax once they reach the age of 85. I know that's going to be a heavy lift, but we have to do a better job in allowing our seniors to age in place.
And Watson says during the pandemic, no revenue was generated when casinos were shut down. That's because of that. Rather, he is working on legislation that would legalize online gaming for casinos. And still to come, we have more reaction to the release of Brittany Griner. Well, stay tuned and we'll have more.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, the House passes legislation enshrining federal protections for same-sex and interracial couples. The vote was 258 to 169 and sends the Respect for Marriage Act to President Biden's desk. He's expected to sign it into law. The bill requires that all states recognize valid same-sex and interracial unions performed in other jurisdictions. It does not, however, require states to issue marriage licenses contrary to state law. Hyattsville police are warning residents about the dangers of recreational drug use. This follows a drug overdose death in the city yesterday morning. It happened about 2 a.m. at an apartment complex in the 3400 block of East West Highway. Police Chief Jared Towers says the dangers of drug overdoses are, quote, very real. Back in August, 3 men died of a fentanyl overdose near a city apartment complex.
Following today's great news that WNBA star Brittany Griner is free, National Basketball League Commissioner Adam Silver released a statement on social media. He said Brittany had endured in an unimaginable situation and we're happy that she's on her way home to her family and friends. And WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said she praises the efforts that the administration took in setting Brittany free.
We're just hoping that we can get settled here with Brittany back in good physical, mental, and emotional health, and then support any efforts. But I will tell you, it takes a lot of courage for leaders to do what the administration and the State Department did here, and so we're very thankful. And I now know because I had a front seat to this, how hard these State Department officials work.
And I'm sure we all share the same sentiment. Now, the Washington Wizards fell to the Chicago Bulls yesterday in a tight game, 111 to 115. Now, throughout most of the game, the Wizards looked pretty good, but in the second half, without Bradley Beal, they just could not get it done. Their next matchup is against the Indiana Pacers tomorrow at 7 p.m.
And speaking of the Griner case, do you think there are a lot of WNBA players that are still going to go to Russia?
I actually do. WNBA just doesn't pay enough right now, so they have no choice. But it is an unfortunate situation, but having Brittany home, I think, gives the players a lot of faith.
Oh, fingers crossed there.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Laurencia. And now for your weather forecast tonight, clearing and cold with lows around 37 degrees. Friday, sunny skies, highs near 47. Saturday, mostly sunny conditions, but evening showers are possible, highs in 40s. And Sunday, a chance of showers, highs around 49 degrees. That is your CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone for Laurencia Moten, and both of us have a great night.
Today, millions of people all across America are building a life in recovery from mental and substance use disorders, helping themselves and helping each other, with friends, family, and community, lending their strength and support. Join the Voices for Recovery. Together, we are stronger. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders, for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.